And you will be
Uh,
there.
for those of you joining live or those of you checking out the archive, this is the LOTJ podcast. I got a bunch of people who you might recognize, you might not recognize. These are some of the guys who are on my Twitter group, my private Twitter group, and these guys are all responsible for getting me into LOTGH. So I'm going to introduce all these guys. We've got Bogdi with us. You might remember from our JoJo podcast and one other podcast I did, King Recon. We got Nandi, aka Controller's Illusion, aka Nandis. We got NickTheBoss, aka Little Nick, and we got Ryan. We got Nirvana's here. We got RyanMac, aka Captain America.
Yeah.
Shut up, Shiba Tatsu and Nirvana, all you guys. So we're just going to be having a general conversation about LOTGH, and now I finished it, and all these guys have finished it long before I did. We just want to talk about it instead of doing like a formal review. So first, I want to talk to you guys about which of you guys first finished LOTGH. Which of you guys? I think it was you, Nandi, isn't it?
Yeah, Nandi.
Yeah. So when you finished, LOTGH, at that time when you finished LOTGH, did you know anyone else that had finished it, or did you feel like you were the only dude that finished it?
I felt I didn't have any friends that watched. Literally, I just looked it through forums and discussion boards and we're looking at what other people thought about the show. And then I met you guys, and then I was like, "Yo, you guys have to, continue Logan, finish it so I can talk about it." So
were you in the Moin test then when you finished it?
I finished it 2 summer ago. No, 2 summer ago.
Okay. So you were more.
Long time ago.
Was there anyone? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, was there anyone you were directly responsible for getting into LOTGH after you finished?
What's the YouTuber name again? Nick knows this.
That Shift or something. I think. I forget
So
he took it down.
Yeah, he took it down, but he's a reviewer. But he was the sole reason that I just randomly came across it, and then I'll look up the name after. But yeah, he was the reason that I started because I really liked his review. I also heard praises from other people, right? So yeah.
Who did you get into LOTGH right after you finished it? Was there anyone you spoke to about it that started LOTGH right after you?
In the Mointish, right? Everyone when I joined, I saw that people were watching it, but they were in different stages. So I was trying to just influence them.
Yeah.
Trying to keep them going, especially Amy. Amy was I was on Amy to finish the show.
Yeah, Amy was better, man. Like everyone was on it. They had that moment.
I rewatched it through her, basically.
You rewatched it through her? Oh shit. Yeah, it got revived, didn't it? Yeah, it got revived. So Bogdi, whereabouts did you watch LOTGH? When after these guys suggested it or before?
Yeah. It is a podcast and the last one. No, before you. But
okay.
Let's see. It was August, if I'm not wrong. Yes, in August. August and September.
August, September. Nick, what about you, man? I remember when you were actually watching it, and I couldn't believe you were watching it, Nick. For those of you who don't know, Nick is probably the youngest guy in this podcast right now, and he makes the jokes about Gintama and that kind of thing. When he told me he was watching it, and I didn't start LOTGH, I could not believe Nick was watching it. So I always thought he was joking. Then he was. By the time I realized that he watched it, he was already 100 episodes in or something like that. So Nick, when you finished it, you obviously finished it with a lot of people in Moitesh.
I was the first person to finish it.
The second person, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it your number one before you finished the show, or was it number one after you finished?
I think after episode 82, it became first, or season 4, somewhere in season 4, season 3, somewhere around there.
Yeah. I remember Ryan. You were having debates in Moitesh about whether it was gonna beat Gintama or not. I remember you had this argument. Yeah. What point did it become your favorite anime?
I think by the end of season 3, it's definitely easily the favorite. But last episode of season 3 put it above easily.
Yeah. All right, you guys' favorite characters, man. Who are your favorite characters? Let's talk about that. Firstly, your favorite characters.
Yang, bro.
Yang.
Yeah, I agree.
Yang, everyone at all.
Yang Sama, aka Wang Yen Lee.
Here's the thing for me, Yang is number 1 clearly.
Yeah.
But from 2 to 10, He can shift every day.
Yeah.
They're so
Yeah.
close to me.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Was
But
Yang always your favorite?
Yang is like high, always high.
Yeah.
Always first.
Yeah.
Mm.
Did Yang become your favorite character later into the series, or did you start off with someone different like Reinhardt or
I
someone?
mean, love at first sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can relate to the guy. He's just chill out. He's chill out. You can relate to him, innit? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
he's not. He's basically not up his on us, innit? Like that's not. He's just chill. He gets along with everyone. You know.
You loved him, Moin. I mean, remember episode 3?
Yeah, I love Reinhardt. Yeah, I mean, Yang, I love like
Yeah.
he immediately. But I will admit that Reinhardt for a long time in the beginning, I was like, shit. I actually prefer Reinhardt for a bit. You know when Kaiser was telling me, unfortunately Kaiser can't be here, and he's the guy I would say who's directly responsible for getting me into LATGH. But I thought Reinhardt was an idiot, and I didn't get to know him. I immediately like Yang. As soon as we got development on Reinhardt, I was like, fuck, this guy is like legit, man. I can go root for a minute. He rules the elites and all that shit. And then it shifted back to Yang again. And, you know, for you guys, was it like no contest for Yang? Or was it always like a...
There was no contest. Personally, for me, it was no contest, but I love Reinhardt. I love
Yeah.
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt is a dumb man. What about supporting characters for you guys? Characters that aren't the main characters. Like, who are your favorite supporting characters?
Rosenthal.
Obviously,
Rosenthal. You can see...
Hilda.
Yeah, you can tell by his avatar. It's definitely for Ryan. Rosenthal. What about you, Nick?
I mean,
like,
Poplan, Royenthal, Mittermeier, everyone. But
Yeah.
every Admiral is
Yeah.
good.
I mean, you could like for the early part of the series, you can consider Julian was a support. You can say obviously, there's going to be spoilers, people, by the way. But you can consider he didn't have that big of a role while Yang was like in play.
Yeah.
So I would say I really liked Julian early on. Before I even realized he was going to be such a big character, I liked him.
You said multiple times that he would be big.
Yeah, I felt he'd be big. Yeah, I felt he'd be big. I agree with Brian, Rosenthal, Mittermeier. But you know what the funny thing is, man? I didn't expect to like Mittermeier as much as in the beginning I thought Rosenthal.
Yeah.
But I think Mittermeier started getting more development. Some characters started getting more development. So I really grew to like Mittermeier. He was at the heart of the empire. Like he was such a basically next to Reinhardt, it was Rosenthal and Mittermeier, and then Mittermeier was this guy that everyone looked up to, and the twin stars. So,
I think after episode 108, everyone loved Rosenthal. I think that's like that was the episode that made everyone love Rosenthal so much.
Yeah. Do you think there was any do you think Bogdi there was any characters in there that you wanted to see more of? Like I remember when we started the series, Trunit. You know, I thought Trunit would be big in it, like have a big role, he'd be this big antagonist. The guy is basically bookends the series, isn't it? You see him in the beginning, you don't see him for fucking ages, and then he's there towards the end. You think there was any characters that you want to see more of in the show?
The shark is essence.
I wanted to see more Oberstein.
Oberstein, yeah.
Yeah,
I think, he could have got a little bit more development, man. Like I remember you.
No, I love his own person.
Yeah, he was the mystery in it. He was that big mystery. But I feel as though they gave him like the dog in it. Do you remember when he talked about having a dog and you feel they could have inserted something in the middle just to give him something about the character. But I distrusted Oberstein from day one.
Yeah.
And I thought he would always do something to screw Reinhardt over, but he never did. He never really did.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of the story that I enjoyed and stuff. What about you, Nick? What do you think? Sorry.
I feel like he has so much respect for Reinhardt. He always does what he wants, even if it's not good for the people or something. But I feel he does good for the nation. Yeah.
I think he
nationalist.
Yeah, I think he understands that Reinhardt can get things done. He just has to give him good advice. He goes, as long as my advice is being listened to by this guy who can get everything done, then that partnership is crucial to him. So I understand. I agree that I don't think he'd do anything to fuck that relationship up, even though they disagreed on things.
Boy, I remember reading the comment for the last episode, and I think Bogdi was like, "How come you didn't cry for Oberstein?"
I was crying for Overseas, wasn't I? I was slightly in case.
Yeah, you weren't, not at all.
not full on crying, but I was kind of upset for him. Like his guts were all over the place. He basically just fucked. Like
You can see
I was
the
like,
rings
shit.
and shit.
Yeah. I mean, Oberstein's weird that we don't have much to go on him, but he's so deep. Even for the minimal amount of time that he's on the screen, there's a lot you can kind of try and understand him, and he's a lot deeper than the characters we see more of. Like there's characters that play their role and all that stuff. What about fucking what's his name? Hawk? No, Hawk. Fork Summer. Fork was there for a bit. He was like a joke, like basically a joke, innit? He had a stroke or something, like an aneurysm or stroke. And then his death was like, you thought he was on a mission, they just got blown out of the sky, and that's it. He's done, man.
Yeah, definitely the best meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think about it. Like, if Yang wasn't like on the sleeping pills, things would have turned out so differently. If he was like, tripping on sleeping pills, you know what I mean? Like he was high on sleeping pills. His distorted his judgment.
Yeah, I mean, when that happened, that was the moment where I thought to myself, you know what, like, and you were discussing this, Nandi, like The Wire. You know how random deaths just seem to happen on The Wire?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like that. You legit thought that Fork was destined. Yeah.
Wire, right? Because like it's totally different.
Yeah, it's like end of season 1 of The Wire. You don't expect
exactly.
D'Angelo. Yeah, you don't expect D'Angelo to just go like that, man. But just like that happens in there where you think in one way, you think the good guy will always be the good guy. He's always going to be alive. He's always going to be this, and that's not necessarily the case. Neil Struggles never watched that anime because it's old. Attack me. What do you think about that, people? Like, what do you think when you first?
No, I'm kidding.
When you guys first had the prospect of watching LOTGH, did the age put you off it? Any of you guys?
Yeah, Naotra has like a Dragon Ball Z fucking. Is that JoJo? Oh,
like I mean,
JoJo.
The dated look of the show. Did that put you off before you started it, Ryan or Nick or?
The show doesn't matter at all. It's just I don't watch anything. I wonder what it looks like.
Yeah. I mean,
I want to blame people.
I prefer the modern animation, but it's not enough to me to put off. Me from a good story. Like after 5-6 episodes, I saw that it has a lot of potential, and it was easy for me to watch.
Yeah, I was the same. In the beginning, I thought to myself that the animation looks dated and the faces don't look as expressive as I'm used to. But after maybe 3, 4, 5 episodes, I just forgot about that because the writing was so good. You can believe in the writing, the voice acting, the music, and all that stuff.
I thought the expression was really good in the series. Like every character has unique face.
Yeah. Would you guys say that this is the best written show that you've watched?
Yes.
LOTGH?
No.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Is it
like back?
Yeah.
Like I don't know why there's something about old animation that like it's so nice to watch. Like even like Gundam, like when you watch Gundam and stuff, and it's old animation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a magic in it. There's a magic to it, isn't it? There's a magic to it.
There's like a
All that.
genuine and like all like hand drawn and shit. Right? So it's like,
even people who are into movies, like movie critics and stuff, say that old film, like even forget the look, but even old film has. It's 1970s, has a magic to it, like you get transported somewhere when you're looking at an old anime, and even though this is a film about the future, basically, you feel as though you're transported into that world and the universe building and all that stuff. Yeah. And Bogdi, is LOTGH your number 1 anime? Because I'm not sure if it was. It's not yet.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Yeah.
And what's your number 1 and your number 2 anime?
Number 1 and number 2 are basically tied, and they are Gintama and Monogatari series.
Yeah. And would you say that they necessarily do things? I'm not going to call you out on this. I'm not trying to embarrass you or anything, but I'm just saying, like, would you say
has the best world building that I saw?
World building, okay.
Yeah. Great cast of characters, but also Gintama and Monogatari series both have great characters. Let's see. The dialogues are very good in LOTGH. Mature and funny.
Yeah.
Actually, some flaws from the litigation can be the music. I like classic music, but for some
Classical, yeah.
But some scenes could have a different type of music for me. Also, the space battles were not so great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. That was one thing I noticed, that space battles weren't everything. But that works in your favor when you're recommending it to people. You literally say that it's not about the space war and all that stuff. It's about the characters, the politics and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're right about the classical music, because it's a space opera, so literally a space opera with all that classical music playing in. And did you now that you've seen LOTGH?
Sorry.
Yeah, now that you guys have all seen LOTGH, do you think it will ever be topped for you? Do you think it's even possible for a show like LOTGH to be?
Nah.
Possible.
Unless the remake comes, you know what I mean?
Remake, man. Fuck that. Why remake greatness? It's like I can't think of what example. It's like remaking FF7 or some shit, man. Like, why touch that? I know, Ryan, you said that. Look, man, to get new people into it, even if it gets a facelift, like an animation facelift, it might introduce a new generation to LOTGH. But I don't think that they've got the budget to remake that show as well as they remade the old show. You think about it. Can you imagine a 110 episode modern LOTGH series? I can't imagine 110 episodes.
No.
They'll get them. Yeah, it's voice actor.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
But Production IG is a good company, so
production.
Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, hopefully that they do what about the classical music. In my mind, there should be original music written to match the scene rather than using tracks by famous composers. So Nick's basically saying that they should make music specifically to match the scene, not just put Beethoven on any random scene. And
I agree.
Their choices were good though. Their choices for the space battles were good.
Well, the music is not bad. The music is not bad. It's good, but could be better.
Yeah,
the directing could be better for music.
And that's the only reason I couldn't use audio in my reactions, because every fucking episode was like existing classical music for the entire.
How could they copyright that though? Isn't it public domain? Like, how did they copyright?
No, I used to get matches early on when I did it, where I used to get Beethoven match German.
Public, or I've seen a lot of people use it.
Some people, I don't know why it is. Like, I didn't get strikes. I got content ID match, but there's just so much classical music. You have to count us and submit and stuff. I don't want to get into that too much, but there was a hell of a lot of classical music in LOTGH. But that also a good thing. It introduces people to that music, and they want to find out what it is. But you know what? What fucking killed me? I don't know how many of you guys have watched my last reaction. When Reinhard was in his deathbed, he played Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, man. That crushed me, man. That was my that was my favorite.
Bitch, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I did cry like a bitch, man. I won't deny that, man. I hold my hands up to that shit, man.
That was beautiful, though.
That was a beautiful
scene. I don't know that Reinhardt had that exchange. I love that so much. It was beautiful.
So what was the most emotional part for you? There were multiple emotional parts in this series. What one hit you most? I know Ryan differs with me on our moments, but Bogdi, I'll start with you, Bogdi. What was your most impactful emotional moment? First one.
Episode 83. The aftermath of the.
So what happened?
When Julian and company returns to the base, and the reaction.
Yeah.
Those hit in the face.
Yeah. What about you, Nandi? The one that really impacted you, the first moment in the series.
First moment? The first moment that was wow, was when Reinhardt and Yang met for the first time.
Oh yeah,
First moment, I was wow. I was hyped, and I was like, it was so intense, and I don't know, I loved it. But the most impactful was 83, right after Yang. Death. That was a beautiful.
Oh man, that was.
What's her name? Frederica, right?
Frederica,
Yeah, when Julian came to talk to her and stuff like that, and Frederica was, she broke down.
I remember the monologue she gave.
Yeah. I had tears in my eyes, and when she was giving the analogy of Yang in his deathbed and stuff like that when he's older, you know what I mean? Yeah, she was good at that.
That was painful, man. That was painful.
And even Yang's death, I was like, what the fuck? That was the biggest.
My heart skipped a beat at that. It was pure white sketch.
It was depressing. Like, it was hard to watch that episode.
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah,
And you know, I was sorry.
The thing with Jang's death, it was more shocking than sad. I think episode 83 was more sad than shocking.
But like, you know when the like the last, like when the narrator goes like, oh, Yang age stopped at
Age 33. Yeah. Yeah, you know what the worst thing is? Like, I was telling people this when I defend LOTG. I'm like, the guy got shot in an artery, I guess, in the leg, basically, and he bled out. You know, that's how real it is. You know, in any other anime, some guy can take multiple bullets and just keep walking and surviving shit. But that just took it to the leg and bun, just like that.
Like,
and that's real war.
Like, he died. Ryan,
like Gintama's my second favorite anime, but like the fight, like some of the fights they have, like all the getting cut and stuff, getting bled, like you wouldn't survive that stuff in real life. Like, well, it's more realistic.
Yeah, it's a shonen.
Yeah,
it's just like, you know.
Yeah. Nick, what about you, man? Your first most impactful moment that really like shook you emotionally, like in the show.
I'd say Julian's reaction to Yang's death was definitely up there, and Bukok scene.
Bukok, the last stand, last line of defense. That was actually really powerful. That was. They had a drink in it. They were the last drink, and they refused to. Yeah, I think that was beautiful.
That speech was awesome.
Yeah. And Ryan, what about you, man? The first moment in this show that you thought, fuck, man, this is just powerful.
The first moment, I guess either Kurihai's death or when Yang and Reinhardt first met, and like the most emotional moment, like overall in the series, is probably like when Reinhardt's death, when he like brings out the two drinks, and he's like, for the first time he didn't make it in time, like the Gale Wolf.
Yeah. That was beautiful. You know, there's so many. You just reminded me about the drinks, about Kurihai. You just reminded me of Kurihai's death. I actually want to talk about Kurihai's death. You know, Reinhardt had a lock of his hair and he carried it around in that little pocket thing. Yeah. What do you think about that? Did you kind of find it weird that he would always refer to Kurihai's hair? Did you think that was?
I think that was beautiful, actually.
Yeah.
Especially when he gave it to Anna Rosa in the episode 10. I didn't know that first time watching, but when I watched the reaction, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
You think things would have gone differently if Kurihai was alive? They always bring that up. Like I don't. Yeah, it was very different. Yeah, but do you think Green Hill?
If Kurihai was here.
I'll be back.
That's a meme. That's a fucking joke throughout the whole show.
There is a meme.
If only Kurihai was. I don't know how to pronounce it.
If only Kurihai was.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell what you said. So could you say that again?
Oh my gosh. If only Kurihai was here. How do you pronounce it?
If only Kurihai was here.
Yeah.
This sentence is repeated.
Yeah. So, you think like after Anna Rose, the thing that Anna Rose just fucked off somewhere. Like after that happened, as soon as Kurihai went, she just disappeared from his life. I was always saying in the beginning, like, what kind of response is that to kind of just leave your boy like high and dry and shit? Do you think it was the right decision to make? I know later on in the series we find out like Anna Rose has reasons for why she did it, but do you think that was right thing to do though? Like
she felt like a burden to Reinhardt.
Yeah.
So she wanted to help him in a way.
Yeah. You know what the weird thing is? From the very beginning, I thought if someone wanted to get to Reinhardt, they get to him through Anna Rose. But no one ever thought of that. Did you find it weird that no one?
Books, actually, they mention it in the books. Like when the Civil War happened, they wanted to take Anna Rose, but he had a lot of guards around him, so he couldn't. That's I remember they said in the books.
Yeah, I remember there was a shootout or something. I forgot what part of the series it was.
Yeah, it was a shoot.
Episode 7 or something.
Yeah, there was and but then there was also he wanted to send guards to protect Anna Rose's compound or wherever she was. Yeah, and the fires and stuff were happening. But yeah, I thought they'd maybe do more than that. You think some of these schemers in terrorism and all that stuff would try and get to him through that and stuff. What else I want to talk about? Unsung heroes, man. I want to talk about characters you feel as though like were the unsung heroes of the show. There were many. Obviously, we had Lutz.
You mean underrated or like
underrated? Ones that were like their sacrifices were really important, but they didn't want given that much time.
What's his name? The guy with the what's his name again? How do I forget his name?
Was he 3 planets or?
He's 3 planets. Oh my god! How do I forget his name? Shit.
Lutz? Was it Lutz?
He's like this. He looks like Yang. What was his name again?
Oh, Fahrenheit.
Who?
No, are you Empire side or Alliance side?
You always mix him up with Yang. Remember? I forget his name.
Dusty.
Dusty.
Yeah, I think he's underrated. Hilarious.
Yeah,
I think he's actually overrated a bit. I didn't like him. He was.
You didn't like him?
No.
Dusty pirate version is the best.
Yeah.
Pirate version.
I think there was there was a balance between Empire sacrifices and Alliance sacrifices. I feel as though the Alliance sacrifices were made to look more heroic. The only heroic sacrifice I thought was Lutz's sacrifice. I felt as though Fahrenheit's sacrifice, and one other guy's sacrifice, two other guys' sacrifices. Yeah. So I felt Boo Cox was really heroic. I thought even some minor characters towards the end and stuff were given more heroic stuff. You think the show was even though the show was fair, like it was never biased towards Republican democracy or autocracy? Do you think at some point they did choose which side to lean on, which was Union side, the Alliance side, and Republican democracy side?
The show is like really ironic. Like if you think about it, right? Julian is Yang's son, right? And his wife is Yang's wife is like they took power. It's like autocratic. Like it's a monarchy system, right? His son and the wife took the power. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
In Reinhardt's side, it's ironic because he wants the most powerful. Like he doesn't want his own blood to take over.
Yeah, he doesn't want it to be like he wants it. He doesn't want like a merit. He wants people to get it on merit, not like hereditary. Yeah.
Reinhardt kind of runs like a democratic system, while like Reinhardt's side, like they run a democratic system, while like Yang's side, it became like a monarchy type of thing, where the bloodline's like the next in the throne. So it's ironic in that way.
It is ironic, and it makes you wonder. Like on paper, we got a hard on for democracy in the West, innit? We all got a hard on because we live in the West and all that stuff. But it's only about the people that it's on paper. These systems are fine. It's just the people that are running it is the issue. We don't always get someone like Reinhardt. He's like once in a million years or some shit, and you won't get someone like Yang. And Yang was always the guy that fought responsibility. He didn't want to go into politics. He didn't want to become this guy, And I think that underserved democracy. Whereas for autocracy, Reinhardt was constantly trying to better himself and better the system.
I also love that quote, like people follow people. That's like I think it's the basis of the show. Like people love following Reinhardt and Julian loved
the fun. So it's, they broke it down to the fundamental. It's about people following a person. And then Julian would always debate: are we doing this for democracy, like this?
Or Yang?
Exactly. And I feel as though it was for Yang, for the most part.
I want a spin-off about Dictator Yang.
Dictator Yang, like a alternate universe.
Yeah, spin-off. I love Dictator Yang.
Yeah. Shit, man. And I was
drinking to everyone. Everyone must drink.
I think he would hit the brandy a bit hard, man. You forget the tea, man. Just give me a bottle, man. It's like, actually, Rubinsky took it to the extreme, telling his kid if he wanted to take power, then he should kill him and grasp it for himself. Yeah, exactly. Yang was only there for the bat. Actually, I want to ask about Erwin Yosef. We found out at the end of the show that Erwin Yosef isn't actually dead, and that he's actually fucked off. He isn't actually fucked off somewhere. You think that if they ever decided to make a sequel, that it'd be an Erwin Yosef Empire Strikes Back?
No. I don't think anyone cares about the
It's not going to be all hunky dory for Frederica and Julian, you know, and you know the.
Yeah, like, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine that Erwin Yosef is that discontent. You know how in the beginning they wanted to snuff out anyone left who could challenge them, like in the early part of the series when they were fighting the elites that had broken away and tried to form their own little, their own thing. That could actually happen again because Erwin Yosef is part of the Golden Band dynasty, and at some point they could, you know, say history kind of repeating itself.
The people didn't like the monarchy so much. I feel they like Reinhardt a bit more.
Yeah.
I doubt he has so much power.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Talking about Rubinsky, Nick brings up a good point about Rubinsky. When you first saw Rubinsky and stuff, where did you think this character would go? Where did you think he'd end up where he ended up, like such a pathetic?
I feel he was untapped potential in my opinion. He had a lot of hype, untapped potential.
Yeah.
Had a lot of hype. I mean, I don't know if the church controlled him or he controlled the church. I think
he was manipulating everyone basically.
Yeah.
But then his health got to his brain, you know, so like he couldn't do anything.
Yeah. That's another theme of the show. These great people, like Rubinsky was a genius. Well, you could call him a genius. Yang was a genius. Reinhardt was a genius. Rubenthal was a genius. These geniuses, and it suffered such basically pathetic deaths. You know, when you think about it.
I love that so much. It's so ironic. Again, it's ironic.
Yeah. It is ironic, yeah. Like, and that's real life, man. That's real life. Like, just because you're this hero doesn't mean you're gonna get a heroic death. And I said that in my reaction. Like,
Naruto.
Yo, that's just being around the chat, bro.
I have neglected my lifelong friend. What have I done? Zess is unraveling on the chat.
Do you want pepperoni? Pepperoni?
Do you want pepperoni? Yeah. Is that a tomato? Yeah. I really like how ambiguous Oberstein's death was. You know, Oberstein was a dude that probably wasn't able to make friends because of his personality, but he probably realized that. He probably realized that no one's gonna thank me for this. No one's gonna thank me for what I do, but I know I'm doing it because of patriotism. You know, some sense of patriotism. And you're right though. And the only friend he had was an animal, which is a dog, man's best friend, isn't it? So it's kind of, I guess it's kind of tragic, man, at the end of the day. But I just wish that he made me maybe see something in him. You know, I understood why he did what he did. Otherwise, I would have really gone deep into Oberstein's character and appreciated it. You know. But I agree, Nick, man, what you're saying about Oberstein. Oberstein did nothing wrong. White Wolf says. Technically, but you know, the moment I thought. When he didn't tell Reinhardt about the 2 million people, no, was it 2 million? That bomb they dropped. And he was selected with telling Reinhardt about the time frame for when that would happen, whereas Reinhardt wanted to go and assist with those people.
The bomb,
that was
Civil War. The bomb they dropped on the place.
Yeah, and then that blood was on Reinhardt's hand, or at least he had to take responsibility for that. I think that was the one thing Oberstein did wrong. Like he said, Oberstein did nothing wrong. Reinhardt took that on himself, innit? And that caused so much stress for him. And every time he was stressed, you know, you get a fever, and ultimately, you know, that probably led to it. Do you think he would have, if he wasn't a ruler, Reinhardt wasn't a ruler, that he would have lived longer? He would have lived beyond.
For sure, of course, right?
Yeah.
I remember I think Yang did a quote. I think it was the light that burns the fastest dies quicker, or something like that.
Yeah, that's the line. Yeah.
That quote is amazing. But cause I'm just overly ambitious human being.
Yeah. And there was also the line about two geniuses can't exist in the same time with Rubenthal and Reinhardt. And it came to fruition, man, that either one had to go, man, Rubenthal or Reinhardt, and it was gonna be Rubenthal, man. Ryan, what about you really like Rosenthal as a character. What is it about? I want to ask you specifically. What was it about his character that drew you to him? Was it something that?
He's a really complex character. Yeah. So
yeah.
I do think.
Fuck this.
What?
What?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think when I first saw Rorenthal's backstory, like he was recounting bits of it over drinks with Mittermeier, I thought to myself, wow, man, this guy comes from a pretty dark place, man. Like he's basically self-deprecating. His dad was a fucking idiot. His mom tried to kill him, you know, when he was a baby, and he came from basically you could call it an abusive kind of background. So he didn't really. He
wasn't loved, and like, and he people like he treated other people like the way he was treated, right?
Yeah, exactly. And women as well, he treated that way, you know, particularly.
His only hope was Mittermeier, right? That was like his
only,
stuff.
Yeah.
Other than that, you know.
Well, my favorite arc of any character for the show is definitely Ryan Rosenthal and Mittermeier's arc. They both arcs are both linked together, man. And even the end scene isn't given to Julian, isn't given to Frederica, it's not given to people, it's given to Mittermeier and yeah. That was beautiful, yeah, I agree.
Hey, Ryan, you alright, bud? You alright? Ryan probably has chickens over here. Yes.
Them cheerleaders.
Yeah.
You guys got anything in the chat you guys want to talk about? Like you want us to bring up? Because it's hard when you're freeballing it.
Can we talk about the remake?
The remake, yeah. Let's talk about remake. You got hopes for it. Do you think it's got a fucking chance in hell of being good?
It won't be. It won't be half as good as the original, even. I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if it's only half as good as LOTGH, is that good enough for you guys?
No.
Will it just be like watching a poor man's LOTGH?
It has like no.
Well, if it's a different story completely, then.
I mean, I will watch it regardless, but
yeah.
I want to watch something amazing. You know, like
but do you want people's first impression of LOTGH to be something that might be half as good? Do you want people's impression of LOTGH to be that?
No.
And that's the problem, isn't it? Look at all the people that are probably watching Berserk for the first time through the series. They might not even want to go back and read the manga, even though people are telling them the manga's amazing, man. So I don't think it will damage LOTGH, even if it's like half as good. But you want people to get those key moments, man. Like where it is the book, or if they decide to retcon it or whatever it is, you know, like you want it to be good animation, but the same, man. I'd be happy with that, man. But I don't think that's gonna be the case.
You know, there's like a theory, right? Where you know the guy with the red hair, like Reinhardt's servant or whatever. I forget his name.
Emil.
Yeah, there's a theory that like he poisoned Reinhardt.
Yeah. So ambiguous. It was so ambiguous.
There's like a whole theory.
Do you know what I said early on when Emil might be his downfall, innit? I felt like I've said earlier in my reactions, like, you know, this guy's so close to him, man. This guy can flip on a dime and just undermine him.
He was a terrorist.
Yeah, that would be close to if Emil was president all that time. He was a war orphan, maybe. Maybe he felt bitter about, you know, Reinhardt. It's some elite's kid or something. You couldn't be, but that's a good, interesting. Actually, that would have been even more interesting. That would have made sense if they done that. Yeah.
It's like, you know how Reinhardt brought the country or the planet, right? Like if everyone spirits are from the planet, so he's trying to take revenge on Reinhardt through that.
Yeah.
So it would have been like a cool pasta.
Yeah, I was, you know, whenever I felt the show was gonna go somewhere, it decided to go a different way, and that's what I love about the show. Like, what I thought would happen, some of it, one or two things maybe happened, rest of it just completely went. Like, do you know the moment when Yang had Reinhardt in his sights, and Yang could have taken him out, but he listened to the order that was sent from the Alliance back home to withdraw.
The greatest Bogdi.
Yeah, Hilda.
That was, and do you know what? Reinhardt had just had a complex since that day. He goes, "Fuck, man! I want a fair fight with my boy Yang, yeah." And you know, he had me. but the circumstances drew him away. And I think yeah, and I think Reinhardt will thrive on. I hope they'll keep the classical music. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if they keep the classical music, but yeah, what I want to talk about is Reinhardt, and Reinhardt always got a hard on in it for fights. He just couldn't be that guy that sat on the sides, signing papers and that kind of thing. And he thrived on wanting to fight, whereas Yang always wanted to stay away from the fighting and stuff. And I guess that's kind of why these two characters got this random deaths they got. They would never have got that moment that one of them wanted, which is just to fuck each other up. And then, but then Julian, I think when Julian took over, Julian started thinking that look, Reinhardt's not going to respect us if we don't try to grab Republican democracy back. Reinhardt wants to see someone who really wants it, and if they want it, they're going to come fight for him. They're going to come do it. But
episode 108, the ending. Oh my gosh! When Julian's coming in, and he's like gasping for air and shit, right?
He can barely stand. He can barely stand.
And they meet each other.
I thought that was more beautiful than when Yang and Reinhardt met. I thought Julian being in front of Reinhardt was more satisfying than when Yang and Reinhardt met. I think.
Julian personally that for that moment, right? He went through Shinju dying, and then Marquez dying, and Shrinkop dying and shit. So it's like it's more beautiful. That's
part of what was so emotional for me. Like when you relate to something, you wish that we had leaders like that. Decent leaders who was fighting, or that kind of thing. So there's an emotional thing. It's like an ideal universe or ideal kind of society that you wanted, where these two guys that have been at war with each other, they can get along. They both want what's best for the universe. They're not selfish. They're not selfish people. They're not like the Goldenbaum dynasty, where they just want their lineage to succeed. Reinhardt wanted to leave the universe in better hands, and at the end, the universe is technically in better hands. You got Reinhardt's what's her name? I keep forgetting it. Yeah, and then you got Julian and Frederica, who's basically going to shape the universe in the future. That's what's so emotional about the show, but people don't get it. They want the cheap feels, innit? They want the cheap feels, innit? He killed my person, so I want to stab him in the back and shit like that.
Sasuke.
Was there anything you disappointed with it? Because we're praising it a lot in this chat. Was there anything that really bugged you about the show that you wished was better, or do you think there was some flaws in the show that you think?
Maybe the last 10 episodes that could be a bit more. They were. Let's see.
Yeah.
They were not satisfying enough in a sense that they could have more.
Yeah.
It was underwhelming after the Royal part.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we brought up obviously Space Battles came up. The Space Battles weren't that interesting, and there were some things that you maybe wanted to see more of. I don't think there's anything I wanted to see less of. In fact, sorry, John.
I think terrorism, like everyone will agree that terrorism could have been extended and more developed. That was probably a bit disappointing because they could have really went with that. But I think
De Villiers, exactly. De Villiers, I like the twist with that De Villiers was random old dude in it that was pretending to be Archbishop, so to keep everyone on side in it. But they could have done more. You're right about terrorism, man.
Yeah, I think they just popped. Oh, so go on.
I thought it was kind of stupid how De Villiers just kind of ran in there and got himself killed. He seems like the kind of person who wouldn't do that. He seems smarter than just running with a gun and getting himself killed by Julian.
But they also said that they were the last one invading, right? Because like it was dying.
But even if he was the last one, I would think he'd value his life more than just running in and dying.
Yeah. I think one of the issues was towards the end they decided to tie up the whole Schumacher, Owen Joseph, and the guy who was taking that corpse around of a kid. But it wasn't Owen. Schumacher. I feel they could have done more with Schumacher, because Schumacher was this ex-Empire guy who was just working on a farm. They decided to bring him in on their conspiracy. I thought you're right, that everything to do with terrorism and the certain conspiracies in the background could have been a bit more fleshed out, because I know the narrator kept waffling over things just to hurry them up, and then they decided to focus on the big moments in the show. Talking about the narrator, what do you think of the narrator? Narrator becomes the issue for people.
I thought the narrator was great.
I love the narrator.
I'm kind of off it because the narrator.
I didn't notice any spoilers of it. I mean, first time I watched it, I didn't feel like it got spoiled. It was just me
I feel like
not
you
paying
really spoiled.
attention.
Got spoiled
I
by
think the narrator deflated what would happen next. He deflated it. Like he would say, "Oh, but we don't know what was to happen next. Was going to be catastrophic." I'm like, "Why don't tell me the next episode is going to be catastrophic?" You know, yeah.
Probably like the biggest one I can think of was when like Rosenthal and Myler shake hands. Like this is the last thing they'll ever shake hands
Oh
together.
yeah.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
Yang and Julian, like I don't know how you didn't understand it, but I think they said something about this is the last time they'll have a drink or something. Did you catch that on Moin?
This was the last drink they'd ever have. Something like that.
Yeah, they said it. I remember 78 or something.
Do you know what? There was a point where I just decided to just cut the video as soon as I could after the episode ended. So maybe I missed that. I'm not sure. But if I'd heard that, I would have been pissed, man. But there's no way I ever anticipated that Yang would die. I actually anticipated one person would die, but I didn't think it would come to fruition. You know, you don't expect it to be. You know, when you see a guy that carries the show, you don't expect that guy to go in it. But then it changed. You know.
Well, you know season 3 ending, right? Remember when we thought that was like a bromance, like the first time you saw it?
Oh, the union stuff.
You guys jealous of Yang.
Yeah. That's the beauty of the show. I thought, shit, man, Yang blew him off in it. Yang dumped him out somewhere. Now he's missing his boy. Yeah, and I didn't realize that the context changed after.
Actually, Julian, you know,
that's the beauty, though, isn't it? That's the beauty of the show, though, isn't it? The narrator was supposed to represent a history teacher talking about the past. Well, yeah, only in those, particularly in those documentary episodes. Do you know? I like the documentary episodes a lot in the show. When they decided to show Earth's history, they decided to show Heinesen, how Heinesen formed the alliance. I mean,
the
free planets.
Yeah, that's
Sorry?
The history of the empire.
Sir?
The history of the empire was great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I liked him for that. And yeah, I understand what you mean. He's like a narrating history. That's why it's called Legends of the Galactic Heroes. It's looking back on the way he talks. He's talking in retrospect, not future. LTG will be fitting series alongside Vikings on the History Channel. You know what? Nick's right, man. There's a lot. It's like an academic exercise, not just fiction. There's a lot of academics in there. Like they sit down and have this talk about ideologies, and they talk about democracy and autocracy, and they talk about, you know, the flaws and the positives of both of them.
You know, one thing I would like.
Did you guys?
Sorry, society. I would like to see economy, like economics and stuff. I think, like you brought it up somewhere, like how would have this much money to buy all these ships and people and everything. Like, just money costs are blue, or I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Did you want? So you want the explanations for that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, economics. I mean, is Fezon the most rich country because of the the travel and stuff like that, or is the
Fezon keeps a balance of what those planets, right? For Reinhardt's planets and Yang's planet, the balance of it. So I think they are the most richest, right? That's what you're asking.
No,
I think in the books they say the Fezon is like the richest because of all the handling and stuff.
Fezon is the evil Switzerland of the universe.
Yeah, Switzerland. Yeah. They profit from war and peace.
Yeah.
So during times of peace, they do a lot of trading between settlements or whatever it is. But during wartime, they decide, okay, we want to back. Fezon was always like that. We want to back Reinhardt at this point. Now we want to switch to Yang at this point. They were always trying to pick who to side with. So they always remained profitable. But then I think both of them got pissed off, innit? Yang and Reinhardt were like, you know what, fuck Fezon, Rubinsky, this prick, innit? All he's doing is profiting from you know, jamming things up, you know. So he's then clever. He's clever.
Toppa smashed all the girls in Fezon, though, so he's a boss.
Who did? Rubinsky, yeah? Smashed them. Yeah.
Toppa the player.
Yeah. All right. Actually, talking about smashing people, the females in LTGH, the waifus as they call it. Which is your favorite female character in LTGH. You know,
Obviously. Hilda is my second favorite character of the whole series. So.
Sorry, who did you say?
Hilda. Hilda Mario.
Yeah. Mine. Okay.
When Hilda Reinhardt, first made love, that was.
Yeah. I thought. Do you know what? Later on in the series, I thought Evangeline Mittermeier's wife was just like a night, like especially towards the end of that particular arc with Felix and thing, do that, to take on a kid like that and be and some of her lines of dialogue and stuff and the way she supported Mittermeier to everything. Like I thought she was my favorite female character. I mean, I like Green Hill as well.
Wait, is Mittermeier's wife your favorite female character?
Maybe. Actually, you know what? Early on, we there was Kazelnu's wife, the banter in it. Do you remember, like up until the part where? Because I don't know. Honestly, they're all good female characters. But I know my least favorite female character is what's her name?
Kateros?
Julian's girl, yeah, Kateros, yeah, Monkoitse, yeah. She didn't really. They could have developed her more, don't you think? A bit more than they did.
Yeah, the romance and LTJ.
She's a tsundere.
Yeah. Yeah. She was egging Julian on. I appreciated her role. She was a woman back.
This is wanted to smash, I think.
Zesef wanted to smash Kateros,
yeah? Ask him.
Yeah, Zesef, who was your favorite female in LTGH? Rubinski's bitch was a slag, but she redeemed herself at the end when she freed Thing's mum. What's it called? Let go of Thing's mum. Felix's mum.
How about Anna Rose?
Anna, nah, man, forget Anna Rose, man. There's nothing. Everything Reinhardt did in the beginning of his life was for her. After he took power, I know she had her reasons, whatever it was. She's knitting and shit in some shack somewhere. But I feel as though, nah, man, like she was this to push the plot forward. Her existence was only there to push the plot forward. Once that was no longer needed and he had to govern, they took her out of it, and then she had to explain her thing, and all right, and then that's it, man. But I love the moment at the end, man, where everyone's around his bed and everyone's there. Anna Rose there, bloody what's her name? I keep forgetting Yang's chick's name. What's her name? Frederica. Yeah. I keep getting her mixed up with Mrs. Yang, innit? Best girl at LTJ is the ginger head one. Yeah, Zessa goes Cat Rose is the best.
Yeah, I agree. Hilda's very good character.
Yeah.
It's either her or Frederica, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, Hilda was almost like a step-in, like a stand-in for Becky. She would always question. She would say.
Yeah. I didn't like Frederica. She was just sandwich girl. I don't know. Especially in the beginning, I didn't like her.
I think after episode 83, I was like, wow. She almost made me cry. Like that was about.
Yeah, same here. I cried. That was the first real. Like I thought it would. The crime would stop after Yang died.
I still remember that in my mind. That was so beautiful.
Reinhardt best waifu. Actually, Reinhardt's best waifu. How on earth did Yulia manage to pull that girl? He needs to give me tips. I don't know, man. Yulia just was himself, man. You know what? I don't know how that came about. Honestly, I think that's the least organic relationship, like Yulian and Kata Rose. It didn't feel like it came out of anywhere.
It's under the power.
Yeah. I mean, mainly because Kata Rose had a lot of respect for.
I think Julian was just like, thirsty for some pussies.
Julian's some making around these, man. I just know what I liked about here's the thing. Do you think as similar as Julian and Yang were in terms of their outlook and the way it was like a senpai teacher sort of thing? Do you think Julian was different enough from Yang, or do you think they were still very similar? Do you think there's fundamental ways?
Totally different, I think.
Yeah. Julian is more impulsive, is more action-wise. He's
That's
more
what Shenkop
ruthless.
wanted.
Julian is more ruthless and young.
I remember before Yang died, Shemkop kept saying that he wanted Julian to be like Yang, but he also wanted Julian to be a little bit different from Yang as well. He wanted him to be more impulsive, more assertive, not as chilled and laid back. And I think Shemkop got what he wanted. And actually, Shemkop as well. He was a constant throughout that show. The Rosenritters, he would just go and axe him man's to death and stuff. He was always like,
death.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt I could have been more emotional for his death. I don't know why I wasn't as emotional.
No, his death wasn't really emotional. I don't think it really needed to be. It was just like,
I think
it was like fitting.
Fitting, yeah, because he lived a life of violence anyway, like
let's not forget
violence.
that Royenthal fought Shenkop with just a knife against a full armored Shenkop.
Yeah, that was sick.
And you know the guy I thought who would die most, because on the Empire side, the guy who most closest to Shenkop's character, I guess, is what's his name, Bittenfeld, the orange head guy. He was always willing to go.
No, he's actually my least favorite character in the book. The red hair guy.
I hated him before, but he became funny, like a parody almost. He was just this aggressive guy. He's the guy that fucking mashed up Oberstein when they got into their little scuffle, man. That was like a cathartic moment for me, because I still at that point I didn't like Oberstein, and when he like grabbed Oberstein and like roughed him up, Oberstein had never been touched.
I felt Bitterfeld should die. I felt he should have died.
Yeah, he should have died.
The idiots do not die.
Yeah.
But it feels like
Yang man. Sorry. Yeah. Any of you guys in the chat want us to talk about anything else? There's still 11 to 12 viewers here. You guys want us to talk about anything more that we might have missed? That you want us?
Let's talk about the incredible amount of death flags on Mittermeier that never come true.
The death flags on Mittermeier?
Yeah, there were a lot.
You know when, like,
I thought like for 10 episodes that he could die at any moment, like when he went home alone with his wife during the night.
The one person actually before I get you guys view, I thought Mittermeier had no flags on him. I thought Mittermeier was gonna be a guy that would not be touched like at all.
Yeah.
Like, you know when like Ranthal's baby was announced, right? So the girl was pregnant. I thought, like, I saw the whole thing. Like, I knew that like it's gonna end in a tragic way, because Ranthal was written as a tragic character. So I knew that was gonna go in that direction. I had a feeling. Just when she had a baby.
I knew that Mittermeier would somehow end up with his kid in it, like somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Mittermeier and his wife always like complained about not having a baby, right? So
and they couldn't have kids.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of like foreshadowed a bit. I think. So I knew that Mittermeier wouldn't die.
Okay, I'm gonna break up into two. Nick said something. Zeph said something. Every death was sad. One of the ones that actually hit me hardest was Konev's death. Not because I cared for the character, but how it affected Poplan, and who is also happy-go-lucky. I think Poplan managed to. Poplan, when Yang died, the guy was drunk in his fucking room. The guy was drinking himself half to death. I thought that was really emotional. I remember when I saw him. That was when it affected me. I don't think he was that affected by Konev's death as much as he was Yang's death.
He was.
They were in the middle of the battle, so.
Yeah. Actually, Poplan, man. Poplan was such a good character. Poplan shot up. In the beginning, he shot up to my top 5 characters, man. Poplan did. He used jokes. Every joke he made was funny. Like, he was a womanizer dude, man.
Better than Gintama.
Yeah. And there was a running joke in there about him hitting 30. He goes, look, man, I'm not 30 yet, like you fuckers. I'm going to enjoy my life. As soon as you get 30. Yeah. And actually, Zesif says, which side did you prefer more? Empire or Alliance?
I think it's your favorite character you're going to prefer more, I think. Right? You're automatically going to be biased against your favorite character. So, I think it's
Alliance just feels like more of a family rather than like the
that's true.
Other than the alliance, like it's kind of like what Bukak was saying. You'd rather be friends with everyone than like a subordinate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think if Yang had ambition to be like the ruler of Free Planets, I would like to Free Planets to succeed. But now that he didn't have any ambitions, I mean, if I would like to see the what's it called? I forgot. But like the other side to succeed.
If you took Yang and Reinhardt out of the equation, I think ultimately I don't know. I might side with the Empire because the Empire still has good people. Yeah. Which is weird, man. Yeah.
It's just one character can like change your whole perception on like certain things.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ryan, you're right. It's just that in the Alliance, you're more free to speak your mind. Whereas in Empire, there's a chain of command, and you didn't want to speak out of turn. And they always talked about how the communication in Empire was bad. Even on the battlefield, the communication between the Black Lancers and this fleet and that fleet was always bad, which led to their problems because they were all sort of in a chain of command, and no one would listen to each other. But in the Alliance, everyone pulled together to put forward ideas, and they come up with the pros it. Space Prussians were better. Yeah. So what did you feel about? I remember when I first started the series, I asked why every character has a German name. Do you remember? I think I asked that question, and then we got some backstory about where the Golden Bound dynasty started 500 years ago, and we got that backstory. Well, do you think that was a conscious decision to draw parallels with German history on purpose? Do you think that was a good thing to do, a bad thing to do?
Well, the German system, the Prussian system, was the example of a great empire with a great bureaucracy.
Yeah.
So I think the author took it like an example and a prototype because it worked. Yeah. Because for military power.
Yeah. And what do you think the Alliance was model of any particular democracy? You think European, American? What do you think?
No, because I think Yang is right? I don't think. Actually, no, I think probably I don't know. I think it's based on like democratic system in general, in my opinion.
Yes.
There are a lot of coalitions that exist like that in like almost every single country, right? That has democratic. I don't think it's based on like a specific Western.
Yeah, they call it Republican democracy, so I'm guessing it would be something like what the US has and all that stuff. Yes, Poplar, Shenkop, and Attenborough were my favorite trio of friends. I never thought much of Attenborough until much later in the show. I thought Attenborough was given some key moments, banter, writing, taking charge. That he became one of my favorite characters as well. A lot of people immediately refer to Hitler's Germany subconsciously. It's definitely modeled after World War I Germany. Yeah, it felt like that. I mean, I'm sure it's not coincidence that it was German names. What's going on?
You're right, man. Chill out, fam. We can hear what you're
Them cheerleaders, fam. Them cheerleaders.
That's not me.
That's cool. Yeah, you guys want Nick? Do you want to bring up anything you want to talk about? I'm sure there's something I'm missing. I wanted to talk about.
Favorite scenes or something? I don't know.
Favorite scenes.
It's gonna be the same thing.
It's gonna be similar, man. I think.
Yeah.
All of us have.
Actually, you know what? What episode did the show click for you? Like obviously the first 2 episodes aren't the best. It was after episode 3 that. Yeah. Did it all click for you at episode 3? Does it take a bit longer for any of you guys to really get to the show?
Yeah.
No, I think I liked it from the beginning, really.
I think it took me like end of season 1.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah. Better than 305 episodes, Nick, yeah?
Yeah. No. 300
episodes.
300 episodes.
305.
Sorry?
No, 305 episodes.
305 episodes, yeah.
No, 300 episodes.
Yeah, as I said, because I don't watch anime anymore. What was it? As I said, what was LOTG the last good anime you watched?
Hey, what about Ghost in the Shell, fam? What happened to it?
Yeah, Ghost the booty in the show, man.
Just top 40.
Yo, he switched up fast. What is that profile picture he has?
I don't know, man. Someone goes, it took me 4 months to watch this show. After the first season, I started to get into it more. Yeah, you need to get to second season, I think, for a lot of people, before it gets like really hype. Which is why I like season 2.
You know what got me though for episode 3? I think it was like Yang was talking to that little girl.
Yeah.
Oh, the
She
boy.
died, didn't it?
Yeah. So like about the war and shit. I just like and after that they showed a hand of them walking and stuff. I don't know why that just got to me and I was like, wow, this is because of that whole scene. But yeah, episode 3 caught me.
Yeah. The rest was filler. And it ended on episode 82 for me. What? 82? Do you know I love how melodramatic Zesif can be sometimes?
Oh, you should have been on the podcast.
No, like Zesif, did you want to be on? Because we were talking about it all day and you didn't say anything, man. I'm watching Kashan say, oh shit. I recommended that to you, Zesif, man. I've been telling you for ages to watch that.
I thought you
it's a wicked anime.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought he watched it before as well. I thought he finished watching it before. You remember Nandi, yeah?
Yeah, I remember perfectly.
This is on his
it's amazing anime. I think it's better than the original.
No, but
so do you want Nick, you can think of anything you want to talk about for LTGH? I'm still this 1 or 2 topics I'm missing.
I should have written down some topics.
I don't want it to be like how it was, like Nandi said, and like it should be more banterish and stuff. Like
this is fun, no? Like
I mean, something to take on is good.
Oh, true. So let's talk about like symbolism, guys. Let's talk about symbolism.
Symbolism, like Tokyo Ghoul symbolism.
You gotta hate it, it's real.
Do you know what I think is one thing with old anime? The fact that just anime that's not new is that it tells you everything you need to know, innit? It doesn't leave stuff to necessarily symbolism and stuff, because sometimes people think that's pretentious, isn't it? In modern anime. It's based on real academia, like LOTGH. It's not based on pseudoscience, like symbolism. Like this is symbolic for this and that. Like that's interpretation. Because this is all about democracy and autocracy. It's fundamental things are all rooted in those things, and either rooted in history or rooted in politics or economy, commerce. It's all rooted in real things. It's not rooted in, you know, this symbol shows up in that fucking stupid
One Piece
chapter. One Piece, that foreshadowing, this, that, you know, like.
Oda's
the best.
Oda is the best.
Gotta.
Oda's a god and shit, man. Tokyo Ghoul.
Good.
Man, the Tokyo Ghoul joke is probably lost on those outside the cache. Nah, it's not lost, man. How many people watch Chibi for his symbolism, insight, and shit? Moon, I have a topic.
Nan is getting treated.
Moon, I have a topic. Which character do you resonate with, find yourself to be most similar to in personality? Who do I resonate with? I don't know, man. I think I feel as though everyone can relate to Yang. Everyone can relate to him. You know, they can't be bothered, but they've got a lot of talent, but they just can't be bothered. They're lazy in it. Like,
you guys remember the episode where like Yang, I think he was talking to the right? He was just like roasting the shit out of the Democratic. It was like one-on-one. I think like he was held.
Oh, when interrogating him, yeah, in the court.
Yeah. I love that episode.
I love that as well.
That was he roasted the shit out of them.
They didn't know what to do with him. They honestly, it was like a bomb. They were sitting on a bomb and they didn't know what to do with him, innit? They wanted to make an example of him. Actually, who's that guy that looked like Stalin? That who was his name? His name was Stalin.
I forget.
Lenin something.
No.
I don't know.
Lenin Camp, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
That guy is a really interesting character, man. That guy like fell on his sword and shit. He was an interesting character as well later on. He made a big mistake in it. Mistake of pushing Yang, even though he wasn't doing anything. When he was living out his life with what's her name, Frederica. They were under surveillance and shit. That's where everyone triggered. He actually led to a lot of shit happening when you think about it. Like he was the one person who actually put into an event a whole chain of shit that happened.
He would have done it regardless. I mean, he would have left the country regardless. I think he had Top and the other people had it planned for him.
Yeah. What else can we talk about?
Meerkats. We can talk about Meerkats. Meerkats.
He was interesting.
Meerkats is one of those guys that has seen so much war in it, has seen so much things go wrong in his lifetime, that even on the Golden Bound, I'm sure he knows history. That he's able to, his wisdom in it is what really helps everyone. You know, he decided.
One fun fact about Meerkats during the Civil War, he was actually forced by what's it called, Braunschweig or whatever it's called, to join.
Braunschweig, yeah.
Braunschweig to join him. He was like, he like blackmailed him, or it was
Yeah. And they don't mention that in the anime, do they? Is that the books? They
kind of hint at it.
Yeah.
He talks about his family.
Yeah.
So it was a hint.
I mean, I feel he had no intention to be there. Like, he didn't want to be there, especially when he tried to commit suicide or something. I feel.
Yeah.
I felt nobody listened to him. So, like,
it's weird though. Like I remind you of Bukok, because I remember when Bukok tried to kill himself. Do you remember? Much earlier in the show, he tried to kill himself. This guy stopped him, and because of that, he was able to redeem himself. You know, and it's all about these old dudes trying to redeem himself. Yeah, Bukok tried to kill himself. Do you remember? His subordinate came in and he said that the pistol's not loaded.
Was it
because he
Meerkats?
Justin's an idiot, bro. He doesn't remember all his name.
Nah, it wasn't. Braunschweig was one of the dupes.
Meerkats also had the scene. I remember, like they were about to lose to Reinhardt.
Yeah, earlier, like he was trying to commit suicide.
Yeah.
But it was Makeshi, I'm your #1 fan. All right, cheers, Vlad. Thank you for joining the chat, man, the podcast. One of the nobles married to one of the old Kaiser's daughters.
Kaiser was smashing and Rose, bro. That man's got it like good, you know. How did he not have a baby though? You've been like smashing it for so long.
You know what? Let's talk about fucking LOTGH box set. How is it that you can't get hold of it on DVD, Blu-ray? You can't watch it digital. You have to get hold of it illegally.
It's like $200 or something.
Yeah. So there's no official release, right? There's no official box set release.
No.
So how did someone get like a HD version? Like Nick, you were saying that there was a high def rips that you got online.
There's Japanese Blu-rays, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Must be a Japanese version or something.
Yeah, but probably.
Doesn't it kind of bug you that there's probably going to be a box set of Production IG's version of LOTGH and not one for this, like a proper English one, localized dub, all that stuff. How did people even discover the show, man? Like, no wonder no one can just get into it, because now we got fucking modern animes on Crunchyroll, Funimation, but none of the shows like this.
Funimation's dope, man. Funimation, yo, go on a rant on Funimation right now. Go.
Moin's favorite.
Moin's
favorite company.
Funimation is fun.
You know what I love? They take the characters seriously. Like the character design of each character to the uniform, to the faces, it was so detailed and like very well like presented. You know, nowadays it looks like half-assed. You know, it looks fucking shitty.
Yeah, I mean they differentiate back in the day. Now they're all generic. They're homogenous, isn't it? Everyone's drawn the same. It's fucking because I think Zessa will say that. Yeah, because people have a certain visual taste and they like certain character designs more than others. So then now everyone's pushing towards this. I don't know, Kimi no Na-wa-esque fucking bullshit, like you know.
The whole show. There is a Love Live. We're set.
£200 for one disc, just for the first one. So the first box set is £200. Fuck that.
Not the
think about it. Like, if this show didn't have this serious amount of character design, would you have taken this show seriously? No, right?
If this
if it had like a bunch of like kids and shit, kids type.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have watched it.
No, seriously, yeah.
I wouldn't be able to take it seriously.
Yeah, it's about the way you present the show to the audience, right?
It's got adults in it. It's got people who are close to 30 than they are to 19 or 20. Like, there's something about shows like that because you can automatically understand. Okay, this show is gonna have teenagers, so they're gonna talk like teenagers. They're gonna have relationships like teenagers. They're not gonna be put in some nuts in situations where, $232 US.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's so expensive.
But that's the thing. That's what I've noticed. Almost every anime I've seen with adults in it, they're put into adult situations. Even Kaiji that I'm watching right now, like it's not like a traditional. Yeah, he's put into a situation where he's in debt. What teenager knows about debt, man? Like, come on.
Unless it's a new anime.
Yeah. Fuck. But do you think they'll ever make? Would these people still exist today? Don't they? Like the people who worked on LTGH and they're still in the industry.
Yang's voice actor died.
And Oberstein as well. They both died.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of directors, writers, the people who wrote the book, they're still around, aren't they? Yeah.
I mean, the director of Vlog is pretty famous. He's a really famous director. He directed like famous, Space Battleship Yamato and like
Space What is that? Is that you, Nick?
What?
Okay, it must be. Yeah. So why can't I? Yeah, but a show like this can't get made in the modern age. It can't be made. I don't think even the lesser shows can't be made in this age. Like something as long-running OVA, beginning to end. You can't get it made, and that's fucking annoying, man. What up, Abdo? Hey, Abdo, man. Welcome to the chat.
Yeah, $664. What the fuck? For one season.
The first box set used $232. A complete new box set for the first season. What is this, man? Like, what? I don't understand, man.
It's just expensive because it's so rare. I mean, if it was in stock, it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Ryan can afford it. The Ryan's blowing money.
I can get Akira on DVD for £3, but LOTGH only in triple figures. It's true though. It's worth it though, I guess. It's the #1 anime. So if you're gonna spend that much on any anime, it's gonna be LOTGH.
Well, I mean, you aren't paying for the company. You aren't giving money to the company. It's a used copy.
Yeah.
You're giving it to the person. I mean,
man, I think that's going to be a problem, man. Like, the people discovering the old series, like, it's always word of mouth then. Mostly, I'm guessing LTJ spread because of word of mouth. It's definitely not because of distribution. And sometimes, man, it's going to be hard, man. Actually, let's talk about the sci-fi genre in general, man. Do you think people are adverse to sci-fi in general? Whenever they see a sci-fi setting with cadets and shit.
I think because people people like to relate to things, right? Like human condition and stuff like that. And shows like sci-fi is like they kind of usually don't have that in it. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to relate to something that has like scientific type shows. So
exactly,
yeah.
People want to see more bizarre stuff, escapisms kind of thing. They automatically assume that sci-fi is in real science, space, and real human beings, or they associate it with the mechs and robots and that kind of thing. And
like, think about it. Like you love them because you love the characters, right? Like background to the characters and stuff, right? But it's not fully sci-fi, so I think that was a huge key.
You understand, Nandi, when someone was asking me and when I was describing it to Khan and stuff, that I couldn't automatically describe it like a Star Trek show, that because you have to get it across that this ain't that kind of show. Like, I've not seen. Yeah, the only sci-fi anime I've seen, the only sci-fi anime I've seen is Cowboy Bebop and LOTGH. It's not like I'm some giant fucking sci-fi guy. Yeah, so. I can only
people, right? More so than like sci-fi. It's about like a bunch of members bantering each other. That's what the basic.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I wonder why it's so hard for people to maybe go back to Gundam. I think a lot of people go back to Gundam a lot easier than they would be able to watch LOTGH. I think Gundam's a huge franchise, probably bigger than LOTGH. So
Yeah, a lot bigger.
fucking, what do you know, man? Any you guys want? Yeah.
Watch
Any
War
you
in the
guys?
Pocket.
Sir?
Watch War in the Pocket. It's lit.
War in the Pocket. Do you know it's coming soon, man? Once I'm finished with those and show, Kaiji, whatever's next, then after that is the Gundam season, man.
War in the Pocket, then MSG movies. You
The
said you're good.
the films, the UC Gundam films, I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Zero as well, I'm gonna watch. So those two are definite.
I honestly wouldn't recommend it. Zero.
You wouldn't recommend Zero?
Right. Yeah, I finished the first season recently, and the ending of first season was kind of crap.
What are you guys talking about?
Gundam. I have to avoid all the Funimation Gundams, so it's gonna have to be.
I'd honestly say just stick with the Universal Century timeline stuff. That kind of everything that all UC Gundam stuff is kind of better than the other stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into those, man. And I think it's a good transition, man. Do you think I'm gonna ask? I've asked Ryan this, but do you think I'll like it as much as LLDH? At least enjoy it, not like be number one.
I'll say this in a hell no.
Yeah. What about you, Nick? Have you been watching Gundam, Nick?
No.
You're not interested in starting Gundam?
I mean, I have lost interest for anime. I mean,
that happens after LTGH, man. That happens, man.
He got to real life show as well. He watched like Robot and then Stranger Things and stuff like that.
Yeah, TV, actual American TV shows.
Yeah,
I think. Damn, man. Do you think now that I watched LTGH, or you guys that watch LTGH, every anime you watch after is just gonna pale in comparison, just fall below?
I don't think that's a reason not to watch anime, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a time
but I've just lost interest in general.
Persona 5 sucked him in. We need Troy. I don't know what Troy would say about LTGH. Actually, Troy's never spoken about LTGH as much as he has NGE and stuff. Nick doesn't watch anime. Nick, I've seen that link. The link to the eBay link. Region A is US. It won't play on the Blu-ray, like Western Blu-rays. Unless it's Part 1 Blu-ray. Shit, man, that is a friggin' approximately $63.90. It's an auction, man. On that, man. But yeah, when do you think it will come out, the LTGH remake? This year or next year?
Next year or never.
If at all. Otherwise, never. Yeah. Do you think it will do well? Do you think it will do well when it comes out?
No,
probably not. To be honest.
Why do this? I don't understand. Why make that decision if it's gonna go out to die then? Like, why do they do this? It's money in it. They want to make money, but why send it out?
Or translating. I think that's the reason. At the moment. I think that's the reason for.
It's got 5 days on it, so it's just buy it now for 5 days. Shit, man, that looks tempting, man, but that's expensive, Nick, man, for the first volume of that box set. If one of us buys it, then we'll all start buying it to introduce a new generation to a fantastic series. Yeah, but they want it to do well, right? They're not gonna greenlight another season if it doesn't do well. I don't. You know what? I think it's time to wrap up the podcast here. But I want to thank all of you guys who joined in to do it. Nick, Zesif, Abdo, White Wolf, all you guys. LT is popular in Japan. It will make money. All right, let's hope so, man. We thought more than it's $80 for the first 55 episodes. Oh yeah, that's definitely worth it. That is definitely worth it. But I want to know if it's legit. Like that's an official release. Like you can't tell by that picture. It could be a Who is that, man? Is that someone's freaking fapping off? Like,
No, it's my.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry, people, man. It's kind of all over the top, but we got through it, man. We got through it.
Wait, does anyone know if the novels are popular in Japan?
It should be.
Yo, my boy Kai's is in.
Oh, Kaiser just came in when we were about to wrap up.
Let's talk a bit more.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I want to give a shout out to Kaiser. Mr. Evil 198. Mr. Evil in the book. Yeah, this guy introduced me to LOTGH, man. Mr. Evil 198 in the chat right now. So if you want to thank him for me finishing LOTGH, you gotta thank this guy, man. Shinsa Kayuri podcast. He's also
come at me. Fight me.
Nick is check it out. Yeah, man. It'll be the guinea pig. You'll be the guinea pig, Nick. Yeah? You let us know if it is Mr. Not So Evil One. Yeah, so all you guys thank this Mr. Evil 198, Ultimate Kaiser in the chat.
Bavin Kaiser Patel.
Bavin Summer. So yeah, thank you guys for joining. I'm gonna end it here because I needed to archive it for those of you who didn't watch it live. So yeah, thank you guys for joining, and I'm gonna do a monster podcast soon. Yes, I hope at least. Yeah, some people don't have a clear memory of. Who is that, man?
Nick.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up here, but look forward to the monster podcast soon. I'll try and get some of these guys back on because
I'll reach.
I need to hear. Some.
Yeah, I might get Recon on because he knows monster.
I need to finish
Daniel as well.
Just watch Galactic Heroes.
Yeah, and watch Legend of Galactic Heroes. You ain't started already. If you're interested. This is a spoiler podcast, but still, man. Some people, Amy was saying, in it, spoilers are what got her to watch certain shows, isn't it? She goes to the end, looks at something, and then starts the series.
I hope Recon takes out his shirt for Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah, man, that would be jokes, man, for Monster
I can't
podcast.
wait.
I should ask him. I should ask him to do it, man, for the fan service.
Free the nipple. Free the nipple.
Free the nipple. Watch the Expanse. Oh yeah, watch the Expanse, people. If you guys want to see good sci-fi, watch the Expanse because that's a brilliant show as well. I'll definitely consider buying it soon, Wolf. All right, people. You know what? I'm gonna wrap it up, man.
Plan that after story.
Yeah, and also don't watch Kimi no Na wa Your Voice, man, because it's not worth your time, man, or your money. So don't waste your money on that, man. Buy yourself a meal from McDonald's or something, man. Save the dream. Save the dream.
I wish I was cool as
Buy KFC.
98.
Yeah. Now, even 198, man. This guy, thank this guy for LOTGH. If you want to ask him anything about it, ask him. And Nick also. Nick's been instrumental in getting people to start LOTGH, and I hope you guys finish it.
No credit to me, the guy who finished for all of them.
No, but I mean, Nick's been recruiting people to our cause, isn't it? Like, he's been telling people on Discord, isn't it, to watch LOTGH.
Discord's cancer.
You fuck this girl.
Nah, man, Nirvana is in the chat, man. You were from
Discord, you know what I'm saying? Nirvana.
One Piece Dick
Fly to the moon. Also, right, what episode of NGE you want? What episode of NGE?
Last episode I watched was 12. That was like 2 or 3 days ago.
Ryan's too busy smashing his girl, bro.
Smashing them cheese. Yeah, all right, people. I'm trying to improve the dregs of society. It's a noble task. All right, you know what? I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching, man, and hopefully I'll join. I'll do one of these soon.
Take care. Peace.
Yeah, take it, guys. And you know, that big shout out to Bogdi, Nandi, Nick, Little Nick, and Ryan Hughes, RyanMac, Captain America, all that good shit, man.
Mr. Kaiser.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's in the chat. I already bigged him up. I still need my friend to watch LOTGH, but she doesn't like non-super romance shows. You need to like do backhand and shit, man. I'm kidding, man, but yeah, just say don't tell him what it's actually about. Just break some shit up, man. Tell him it's the best romance ever, the best sci-fi romance you ever seen. Or something.
Yeah, man. Use that for.
Yeah. All right, people, slap her up. I'm gonna end it here, man. I'm gonna stop the broadcast. But yeah, peace out, guys, man. Peace out.